You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Welcome to another edition of Corporate Events. I'm your host, Amita Prasad Webb. Today we bring you the SEBI Closeout event right here at the Venetian at the Terra Nova Hotel. Please stay tuned for highlights.
We're celebrating 6 years of sector development and social enterprise excellence led by the joint USAID and JN Foundation initiative, SEBI, with our sector founders, champions, stakeholders, bi-social consumers, and social enterprise practitioners. Take this journey with us from 2012 to 2018 to see how the triple bottom line of people, purpose, and profit approach to business is changing the face of entrepreneurship and social development in Jamaica, one community at a time.
The JN Foundation made a very conscious decision to address a specific problem within the social sector, which is the inability of social organizations to effectively deliver their core services. After years of seeing social interventions discontinue due to a lack of funding and understanding the changing global landscape in which grants and donations are being reduced to this region, former General Manager Safri Brown designed the Social Enterprise Boost Initiative. In 2012, the JN Foundation partnered with USAID to introduce and formalize the social enterprise model. SEBI's goal was to assist organizations operating within the social sector to become income generating and self-sustaining whilst addressing social, environmental, cultural challenges. SEBI proved that social enterprises can become viable businesses through targeted support services such as capacity development training, mentorship. A number of our enterprises were assigned mentors, equipment support, and networking to some 35 social enterprises in business incubator and accelerator programs. The enterprises over the period of SEBI were able to generate over $186 million and employ on a part-time and full-time basis over 500 persons. They introduced innovative products to the market, and some experienced phenomenal growth over a relatively short period of time. The impact of SEBI also reached over 100 additional social organizations that participated in the open network activities. Among our outcomes were inclusion of persons living with disabilities. At least 20% of social enterprises in the SEBI incubator and accelerator programs were either owned or operated by persons living with a disability. The partnership between JN Foundation and USAID has created what is now an emerging social enterprise sector. There is enthusiasm about using business as a force for good, which has been at the foundation and the heart of the JN brand. The Social Enterprise Boost Initiative, which was a partnership between Jamaica National Foundation and USAID, has ended today. For us, we are very proud of the pioneering work that we have done in terms of introducing this new form of business model to social organizations where they can move towards become more self-sufficient. Today, we really recognize the enterprises that stuck through the program, the enterprises that made significant improvements. Enterprises like DEFCON, Educators, Inspire 365, Brescia, Bunkers Hill. The JN Foundation has really always done things differently, not afraid to take on new areas, new ideas, and SEBI, Social Enterprise, was another testament to the kind of innovative work that the foundation does.
So talk to us about SEBI, how it came about, and what was happening at the time for it to, or why people felt that it needed to come about.
The reason that we designed SEBI was as a response to these kind of ongoing needs of organizations across Jamaica for funding. And JN Foundation had tested the social enterprise model through the source in 2007, done a number of them across the country, and were able to show that social enterprises were a real tool for community development, and then responded to these organizations that needed funding, that we couldn't provide enough funding. We just didn't have enough money to constantly be able to say yes. And instead of just sort of being sitting ducks and responding with no's, we can't help you, we decided to develop SEBI as a real tool for organizations to figure out a different way to become sustainable. We saw this as a growing risk and a growing threat for the voluntary sector in Jamaica. And so SEBI was as a direct response to that threat to make sure that we provided a different opportunity for organizations before they sort of ran out of steam, ran out of funding, and closed their doors. And so this is what we had in mind when we designed SEBI. We applied under the Development Grant Program 3 with USAID and started the project in 2012.
7 years later, we're now at your closeout event, which is a big deal. What are your thoughts and personal feelings?
I mean, you know, SEBI has been extraordinary. From where we started with the source back in 2007, I remember everybody looking at me and somebody telling me you're talking mumbo jumbo when I said something about social enterprise, to today where everybody understands and knows what that is. And that, you know, there's so many different organizations in the space now, which is really exciting. And so for me, it's really just about, you know, very proud to have created this framework where organizations can choose what they want for themselves, but there is an avenue for that. And yeah, just really proud of the accomplishments of the team. We had a great project manager in phase 1, Jennifer Sharia, and Opal White in phase 2 really took the project to the next level. And so we're really, really proud of them. And then we couldn't have done this without USAID and their contribution over the years.
And that was the first segment of the SEBI closeout event. I hope you still be here when we get back from break. We have more. Please stay tuned.
Every day you wake up, you have another opportunity to make this little island better, safer, a place where we all can be proud to call home. It's time we all recognize that every little thing we do has an impact on the Jamaica we live in now and the country we're leaving for our children. So promise me this, promise yourself this: no more will we tolerate criminals, even if it's our relatives. Tell them they're doing something wrong. Tell them to stop. Tell them no more robbing our children of the Jamaica they deserve. Tell them no more crime.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, delighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV. Welcome back to the SEBI closeout event right here at the Terra Nova Hotel. We go straight to stage.
Over the last 2 years, this social enterprise has grown their employee base by 10 times, added 11 more outlets to their distribution channels, and increased their annual revenue, as you heard before, from $4 million to $13 million. So help me welcome Social Enterprise SOCENT 28 awardee for growth, Team Def Can. Come on up. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the SOCENT 2018 awardee for innovation, Educators JA. And the SOCENT Award for Inclusion, Superior Craft, and more. And next, the SOCENT Award 2018 for rural generation. Next step, lifelong educational services. The SOCENT 2018 media champion, Ralston Hyman. Thank you so much, Ralston. Come on up. And the SOCENT 2018 public sector champion, Charmaine Brim of the Planning Institute of Jamaica. Thank you for your passion. The SOCENT 2018 private sector champion, that one goes to the Jamaica Stock Exchange. We're going to be handing out some certificates to all the participants of SEBI. We call them our pioneers. Give everybody a really huge round of applause. Your contribution to this sector is going to go far and wide.
We're here at the SOCENT Awards 2018. You're an awardee today. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, it was very encouraging, affirming. We were awarded for growth, and at the end of the day, that's what we're about. We want to continue to grow our impact in the deaf community in Jamaica. So 2 years ago when we started the SEBI program, we had 2 employees. Right. And now fast forward 2 years later, we have 14 full-time employees of 10 to 12 other youth that are engaged in part-time work and transitioning into full-time work when we have more opportunities for them. So being able to grow from 2 to 14 in 2 years has been an incredible achievement, a lot of hard work by our team, and is encouraging for us just to receive that award and have our youth be able to go up on stage and receive that award.
Yeah. It's a big deal and congratulations. In regards to DEFCON being a part of SEBI, how exactly did they help move your business along?
I mean, before we were involved in the SEBI program, we didn't really understand what social enterprise was all about. We didn't understand that as a sector. We did not start DEFCON Coffee with the goal of being a social enterprise. It was really just a reaction to the issues that we saw where our youth felt very much like they can't. Like, oh, I'm deaf, poor me, I can't. And it's like, no, you can. So it was mostly about reaching into the community and getting our youth to believe in themselves. But then as their confidence grew and we got involved in the SEBI network, got opportunities to do more events, started building partnerships, and our staff were working in other cafes and coffee shops in different locations, their confidence grew, and then the rest of society started recognizing them over and over and over again too. And so we realized this is actually a message beyond just the deaf community, because DEFCON started strictly to encourage our youth to believe that they can, but now they're getting the Prime Minister's Youth Award for Social Enterprise. They're getting Social Enterprise Awards here at this event. So as they get more recognition, other people are starting to realize, oh, deaf can. And so now we have even bigger sight set on just changing how people view the deaf community as a whole.
So DEFCON, you're growing. What's next?
Next for us is continued growth through partnerships. We have existing partnerships already in Kingston, in Portmore, in St. Elizabeth, in Montego Bay. And so if there is a company out there and all you want to do is serve good coffee, but you don't know where to start, you don't know what to do, there's not baristas in Jamaica readily available, come to us. We'll work with you, we'll develop solutions, and we'll provide a staff member that's trained already as a barista and help you serve the needs that you have with your customers.
I extend on behalf of the JN Foundation our gratitude to the USAID for partnering with us on this project, and commend the SEBI and the JN Foundation teams for the seminal work that they have accomplished during the past 6 years to make this project a success. As Jamaicans, we can all play our part to help our social enterprises to excel in their businesses. That's what Buy Social campaign is all about. With all our financial support, these entities cannot thrive. When they succeed, Jamaica succeeds. Well, Jane, history. Start from helping the poor and people with problems. That's our history. And unlike giving handouts and charity, JN Foundation really felt that we want to be able to help those in communities who can't help themselves, to be able to empower them to be able to help themselves going forward. We were very lucky to be able to have a partner in the USAID who saw and captured what we're trying to do is in terms of community development and also nation building. What it started in few areas, now it's nationwide. And you can see that we have hundreds of small groups who are now able to help themselves and to be able to turn a profit and be able to make useful lives for themselves. The relationship or the program with USAID has just come to a close. So the foundation is moving it or changing it from SEBI to SEJA. So this will continue. We will work with other groups in helping communities to grow and using the same model since it has worked, and we're sure that it will continue to do well. So we're very happy in what we have seen, and you have seen the numbers of people that are turning out, with people turning hobbies into business, but also having social conscience or environmental importance, while at the same time making enough revenue to make the business sustainable. And that is what the difference in terms of from a social charity to social enterprise business.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
You are an awardee here today. Congratulations. Tell me a little bit about your business.
So next step is a social enterprise that's focused on youth engagement and employment. So we offer services such as coaching, training, speaking, and tutoring in the parish of St. Thomas and also anywhere in Jamaica or the region.
You were an awardee here for rural regeneration. Talk to us about that.
So we operate in rural Jamaica in the parish of St. Thomas, which is often underscored as a parish that is behind. So we have positioned ourselves as a social enterprise to be a part of the mission, to be a part of the change. And that started from my personal story where I had issues of self-worth growing up in a rural parish where there are so many rural stereotypes. And I looked around me and realized that the young people were equally affected just as I was. They were not delivering themselves as they should in terms of self-delivery and self-awareness. I wanted to make a change. Started a social enterprise that's really doing a great job. We partner with Heart Trust NTA, with the British Council, with various organizations that have similar mission to truly make a change while making profit.
It's basically the end of SEBI. This is their closeout event. What are your thoughts on that and I guess your feelings?
Well, SEBI has been a phenomenal support to our brand. So in terms of our brand presence and positioning from our look and our feel, we have gotten a lot of support. And they're also big on making sure that your capacity is built to match that powerful branding that we have at the front. So we had business mentorship. We were able to put in some systems that we did not have before. We actually know what the triple bottom line really means in terms of people, passion, profit. So we're taking care of our staff better, having the systems in place to make sure that inside and out that we are a powerful brand. That's the biggest thing that we have gotten from SEBI, and we're really looking forward to Social Enterprise JA. We're now well positioned to benefit from some of the support that will now come from the Social Stock Exchange and other movements that are taking place to strengthen the social enterprise movement in Jamaica.
But what's next for our next step?
Well, for next step, we're looking at actually scaling up. Our services are now well packaged. So we have Ready, Set, Go coaching program, we have a Prep for PEP mobile clinic, and we have the CCC training package, which looks at communication and other 21st century skills. So that is now nicely and tightly packaged, something that we didn't have before. So now we're pushing it. We're getting more support from corporate brands who are now booking us for services. We have had just a few international engagements, but with now the branding and the presence presence that we have with SEBI, we are sure that a lot more regional and international engagements are coming.
Talk to us a little bit about Educators JA. What exactly it is that you guys do?
Well, Educators is an edtech and adventure tour company. We, in essence, make learning fun by providing people with experiential learning and gamified field trips that are powered by technology. So we are combining exploration with things like playing, technology, exercise, things like that. Yeah.
You are the SOCENT Award winner today for innovation. Talk to us about that.
So I think, as I said, because we combine exploring with the technology, it's not a virtual experience. It's more of people going outside, learning about their country. People are involved at the same time, but the phone is really what's different. Using your phone as a tool. We have an app called Adventures. So people can download this in the App Store. It's not available on iPhones as yet, but the app, in essence, allows you to explore, learn, and have fun.
Talk to us about Educators Jamaica and your involvement with SEBI and how you've grown by being a part of SEBI.
So apart from us making learning fun and giving people tours, our tours, we have a clear social mission, which is not only to educate youth, but to include them. Inclusion means giving tours to students or young people that wouldn't necessarily get a tour. Somebody who's homeless, somebody who's deaf, so we include them. We also employ them. So we have them as creative writers and tour guides. These are youngsters that we train and recruit ourselves, giving them skills that they can use elsewhere or with us. And SEBI is really the organization that discovered the social impact that we were having through our tours. They were the ones who molded us into a social enterprise.
It's their final, their closeout event. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm just happy to be here with people who we consider to be family at this point. We've grown with them. And I'm looking forward to what SAJA will do for not just Jamaica, but the region. I'm looking forward to seeing more people become aware of what a social enterprise is, more people coming into the space, but with innovative ideas, fun ideas, things that they would consider to be their talent and so forth. I'm just looking forward to more people making social impact through business. So it's purpose plus profit. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Are back with another exciting, innovative and inspiring season.
It takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness, being consistent and persistent in whatever you're doing. That's the bottom line.
Business exists to add value to people's lives. And if we're not doing that, might as well we lock down the store and just call it a day.
It's a season 3 of Creating Wealth, Mondays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
It's the only show that traces the steps of professionals.
From first and second form, I was involved in some club, some activity.
Then gives information on exactly how to get into that same career.
You do need a good grasp of English.
And no, you can branch out into whatever area you want to.
Tune in every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for Career Moves and catch up on all our episodes at batvja.com.
So we have with us Miss Charmaine Brim of the PIOJ, who is the Public Sector Champion Award right here at the SEBI Awards. Talk to us about that. What is your involvement with SEBI?
JN Foundation actually engaged the PIOJ in 2015 around the premise of the work that they have been doing for the social sector and sharing with us some of the gaps that were in the sector. And one of them was the fact that there was no policy framework to support the sector. So we were actually successful in lobbying the Ministry of Industry, who, on the request of the Bank of Jamaica at the time, who wanted a limited review of the MSME and entrepreneurship policy, the PIOJ lobbied MICOF to have some consideration to include discussions around the social enterprise sector. And resulting from that, a new chapter was developed called the Social Value Creation. That's now added to the policy. So that's the big championing of the PIOJ in one way, and the other is that from a programmatic standpoint, point, the Community Renewal Program is a program within the PIOJ, and the primary goal of that program is to coordinate initiatives towards effective program delivery at the community level, and we target the volatile and vulnerable communities across 5 parishes. One of the key pillars under the Community Renewal Program is socio-economic development. And that includes looking at the strategy that deals with promoting entrepreneurship. So in the context of promoting entrepreneurship and looking for good business models that can advance sustainable development at the community level, then the social enterprise model was a good one for us as well. So it is a model that we have actually adopted, and we have found that the model is a good one. It's a high growth model, and the idea is to continue what SEBI has started. We're going to be very much involved in the conversations with JN Foundation regarding SEJA as well. As you would have heard today, it is intended to be a multi-sectoral approach, right, kind of entity. So the conversation and the work continues.
PSTO Mobility Center is a social enterprise boost initiative that caters for persons with disability, preferably persons with physical disability who use mobility aid products. So we are here to solve that problem for persons with disability.
Talk to us about your involvement with SEBI.
So as an organization, we as established as an organization, and then we see the needs of the disabled community not able to fit in society because of these challenges that comes with the wearing of the chairs or the crutches or the cane, whatever mobility needs there are. And so as an organization who advocate for persons with disability, we ensure that we represent them to the fullest. And so out of that, the Mobility Center was started. And then when SEBI came on board, of course, that was our opportunity to make ourselves visible and to be seen into what we do. So SEBI came with a lot of opportunity for us. It provided us with the skills we need. It provided with some of the tools and equipment that we need, and the retraining areas that we had underlooked or overlooked. So we're happy for the partnership with SEBI. As you know, jobs are hard to get, and can you just imagine for someone with a disability unemployed? May have the skill, but access and other things may deter these business persons to employers. So here we are now with SEBI, creating employment and training for our members. That it's a huge benefit within the disabled community when we can recognize our need and solve our needs. Disability is a state of mind. It's not a death sentence, it's a life sentence. So you live with your disability, you don't die with it. That's what I want to tell them. So this is an opportunity for them to get up and accept themselves as a person with a disability. Because you are a person first. I want you to know you are a person. There are responsibility that comes with being a person. So you're going to live to your fullest. That's my advice.
A special thank you for tuning in to our coverage of the SEBI Closeout event. And thank you to the JN Foundation, the SEBI Group, and all the awardees today. I've been your host, Amita Prasadweb, and thank you for watching Business Access TV, serious about business. Cameo brings the creative industries to life, highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
Violence is bad. Violence against our innocent little children is terrible. Pretending not to notice when we know or suspect that a child is suffering is awful. and morally wrong. In the words of the great Nelson Mandela, there can be no keener realization of a nation's soul than the way in which it treats its children. Think about that for a second. I have a voice. It's one of my gifts. I intend to use it on behalf of our children. No more violence against our children. Make your move to stop violence against our children right now. No more. No more. No more.
All growth depends upon activity. There's no development, physically or intellectually, without effort. And effort means work. Calvin Coolidge, former American politician and lawyer. Our government realizes this need for physical and intellectual development and is continuously working to make our island home a much better place. Hi, I'm Theodore Henry, and welcome to today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. We'll be sharing with you the Ministry of Education's plans for the intellectual development of the nation. With many developments happening across Jamaica, we'll only be giving you just a small taste of some of these. You don't want to miss any of it, so stay with us.
Let's get a little breeze on this land. All right. Now let's get some bounce in the rhythm. All right. Let's get some fire on our hearts. Now that is what we call all right. Run, come, get some Jamaica.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, August 21. A draft National Spatial Plan, NSP, is to be completed by December. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Darrell Vaz, made the announcement Tuesday. He was addressing the opening of the NSP Technical Symposium and launch of Phase 2 of the NSP's development. The draft spatial plan will guide national development and decision-making through the optimal planning, use, and management of the island's resources. Phase 2 of the three-part project will focus on updating the 1978 National Physical Plan, which has been in existence for over 30 years. Attention will also be placed on the development of a National Spatial Planning Information Technology platform.
The NSPIT platform will be accessible to the general public and aims to ultimately provide all the spatial planning database and information to support online application and processing of development applications. All the ministries, agencies, and departments involved in the development processes will therefore benefit from a state-of-the-art and dynamic IT-supported spatial plan.
The $1.33 million World Bank funded program is being implemented as part of JAMPRO's National Competitiveness Project. It's part of the larger 5-year $19.8 million adaptation program and financing mechanism for the pilot program for climate resilience. Farmers in Accompong St. Elizabeth are currently planting cannabis for medicinal use. The move follows the recent signing of a tripartite agreement under the Alternative Development Project to transition traditional cannabis farmers from an illicit framework into the regulated environment. The Accompong Town Maroons, Timeless Herbal Care, and the Cannabis Licensing Authority are working to determine the best practices within the regulated environment for cultivation and processing of cannabis for medicinal use. The project aims to promote sustainable development and poverty eradication. It is also intended to ensure that the Dangerous Drugs Act of 2015 is enforced, while protecting the human rights of all citizens, including traditional ganja farmers. Still on farming, 4,000 producers are now diversifying their crops with the introduction of MD2 pineapple suckers. 70,000 suckers were provided through the Rural Agricultural Development Authority's Production Incentive Program. Farmers from St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, St. James, Hanover, Trelawney, and St. Anne are benefiting from the $280 million initiative. They received the pineapple suckers recently.
This is a revolving program to which each farmer will be required to give 2 suckers per plant back to RADA for redistribution to other selected farmers.
In other news, 24 tertiary students can now pursue a variety of degree programs with scholarships and grants valued at $17 million. The funds were handed over Tuesday under the Governor General's 7th Summer of Service program.
The truth is, we have some brilliant students who need financial assistance to further their education. This program, the Summer of Service, provides some assistance to help them to become the best version of themselves.
The Summer of Service program is part of the Governor General's I Believe initiative, which was launched in 2011. So far, 73 students have benefited from the program. Persons registered on the Program of Advancement Through Health and Education, PATH, are being encouraged to utilize its post-secondary grants to assist with back-to-school expenses. PATH beneficiaries who are moving on to further studies may apply for the grant within 2 years of leaving secondary school. Grants valued at $15,000 to $30,000 are available for use to resit CSEC and CAPE subjects or to pursue certificates, diplomas, or associate degrees. Application for this grant closes October 31, 2019. Beneficiaries must be registered at an approved post-secondary institution such as the Hart Trust NTA, high school 6th form, or a community college. Meanwhile, persons moving on to tertiary education and enrolling in the first year of a degree program are eligible to apply for a tertiary grant through their respective institutions. The grants are valued at $100,000. And finally, the Transport Authority has expanded the number of companies that are able to install tracking devices on public passenger vehicles, PPV. Minister of Transport and Mining Robert Montague says PPV owners are now able to get tracking devices through any company they choose. The owner will be required to provide proof of installation and an activity report from their tracking system for the last 30 days on request by the Transport Authority. The Transport Authority is also reminding the public that the installation of tracking devices is mandatory for new applicants of PPV licenses and will soon become mandatory for all PPV operators. The use of tracking devices on public passenger vehicles falls under the Minister of Transport and Mining's 16-point transformation reform proposal. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Did you know that in a recent survey done by the OCA in schools across Jamaica, 43% of the students received inappropriate messages from strangers? The OCA wants you to be smart online. Never speak to persons you don't know. Parents, encourage your children to be social but be smart.
This message was brought to you by the Office of the Children's Advocate with support from UNICEF.
It was Nelson Mandela that said, "No country can really develop unless its citizens are educated." This is, of course, a key area of interest for our government, cemented in plans for that sector unfolding this financial year.
Knowing that we must do the best with what we have where we are, the ministry has developed a number of strategies tailored to bring about improvements. We have so far purchased $817 million worth of textbooks, which will be distributed starting in August. The ministry has prepared a plan of action in dealing with the shift system. We are making provisions for breakfast to 70,000 of our most vulnerable students at the primary and early childhood level this year.
For the upcoming school year, students in grades 1 to 13 will benefit from $817 million worth of textbooks, electronic aids, and other supplies.
The inventory taken of books that were stored in storerooms across the country have been identified and reallocated so that it reduces the demand for books that we've had to buy.
Plans are also in place to feed 70,000 vulnerable students under government's breakfast feeding program. The minister with oversight says Nutrition Products Limited has put forward a plan to meet the demand.
The Westmoreland plant, as I mentioned here a short while ago, will be reopened, and they will be preparing fruit juices and package the distribution of local foods for distribution throughout the area. And this venture alone, this decision, will save some 200 jobs.
Government is also expanding the program and plans to serve meals earlier in the day.
And we're also making efforts to ensure that the food that they are given each day start at 9 o'clock, as early as possible, rather than to wait until almost midday when they're already very hungry and not able to absorb learning.
37 schools are still operating under a shift system, but the Education Ministry wants to end all that by the year 2024.
Already started this year are the following schools that are being attended to: the Cedric Titus High, the Exchange All-Age School, Mushet High, Albert Town High, Old Harbor High, and Friendship Primary.
While some schools are being expanded, the ministry is also dedicating resources to repair damaged and worn furniture.
Repairs to Furniture pilot program initiatives last year for the repair of damaged and worn furniture saw the selection of 2 schools from each parish that have a work room and metal work department. These 28 schools are known as repairer schools. Each school is paired with a number of neighboring schools which have furnishing to be repaired, and is given just over $1.5 million per year to complete the repairs. This has saved us some $9 million by doing it this way, and it is expected that this will continue.
More special education teachers will also be recruited by government this year to meet the growing needs of students with special needs. $1.2 billion was also allocated to the Special Education Unit, which makes special provisions for students with various physical and learning impairments.
The Special Education Unit operates a Braille and large print program which reproduces print material for persons who are blind or visually impaired, which is an enormously important program. Large print services are also available for students who have deficiencies in vision in regular schools.
Government has also opened 2 diagnostic centers which assist in diagnosing students with special needs and providing short-term intervention. Also on the agenda for the Education Ministry is offering support to students who underperformed in the first sitting of the Primary Exit Profile PEP.
Upon entering high school, the students on pathway 2 and 3, which is the areas of greatest concern to us, are assigned to pathway coaches in literacy, mathematics, depending on what the assessment reveals. The coaches will require and provide the adequate support in the targeted areas to help students live up to their true God-given potential.
Approximately 34% of the students who sat PEP were proficient or highly proficient in all subjects, while close to 50% showed limited or no evidence of the required competence. Minister Samuda also mentioned that by September, there will be close to 100 math coaches across all regions and 20 literacy specialists to further improve the students' academic performance.
We are confident that PEP is in a much better position now to assess and get an indication of the students' ability, and its reporting structure has given us more, and it has given us more detailed information which we will be using to create the intervention strategies necessary to assist.
Hey there. So, did you know that plastic bags were introduced to supermarkets in 1977? The production of plastic bags are toxic to the environment, as the process involves the use of petroleum, natural gas, and other chemicals. 160,000 plastic bags are used globally every second, and 5 trillion are produced yearly. Side by side, they can encircle the world 7 times. Plastic degrades after 700 years and will only fully degrade in 1,000. This means that all the plastic that has ever been produced has not degraded. It remains toxic even after it breaks down. 13 million metric tons of plastic end up in the ocean every year, and at least 800 species worldwide are affected by marine debris, of which 80% is plastic and is mistaken for food by turtles, fish, and other marine life. Research has shown that fish caught for human consumption contain plastic nanoparticles. An average family will use 60 plastic bags on 4 visits to the supermarket, and only 1 to 3% are recycled worldwide. Play your part in advancing your welfare and that of the earth. Support the ban on plastic. Reduce, reuse, recycle, and get eco-friendly bags for you and your 1877. Further developments continue in our transport sector with a special police branch charged to manage traffic on our roadways. We now bring you our talk with the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB.
High visibility clothing, new neon bikes, and a continued commitment to serve, save, and secure. The Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF's fairly new police division is designed to maintain safety on our roadways. It's the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB. As of August 29, 700 members have been deployed across the corporate area and St. Catherine to allow for greater traffic management and safer public spaces. But what exactly is PSTEB?
PSTEB is a merger between the Motorized Patrol Division and the Traffic Division. And what has caused that is because of the rampant disregard for the usage of the road. Apart from that, we realize that we need strength of personnel on the roadways to deter some of the things that are happening.
And what of the branch's roles and responsibilities?
Our mandate is really to cover as much intersections and corridors as possible to ensure that the offenders, regular offenders, desist from doing the regular things that they used to do. Every corner you turn in the Harper Tree area, in Walton Park, down by East Avenue, where we have the one way, we have presence there to ensure that the rules of the road is maintained. When you come out of Portmore, for example, or people come from the country, and they come into Marcus Garvey, and they divert into East Avenue. Once it's East Avenue, there's somebody there directing traffic, pulling traffic out, so that it doesn't back onto Marcus Garvey. And the police is always there for guidance. So if you don't know where to go from there, we're there to show you.
And with their bright neon yellow uniforms and similarly colored bikes, the PSTEB members are hard to miss. The division has also been attracting attention and commendations for its sustained presence on the roadways and its role in restoring public safety, reducing crime and disorder, and improving public trust in the police.
But the truth is that we have been getting a lot of complaints. On a daily basis, you'll see taxi men. You will see them lined up in lines coming down. We have people honking horn to show their appreciation. People are able to tell us by Twitter or other social media how much they appreciate us. They're able to go home on time to their family, etc. And all it takes is for us to just be present.
As the JCF continues its work, the public is being asked for full cooperation.
I just want to say to the public that peace step is new, but policing is not new. And we are here to maintain the peace. Just want to work with us and to ensure that we have a free flow of traffic in the corporate area.
Peace Step is just one example of the JCF working to serve, protect and reassure with courtesy, integrity and respect for the rights of all.
Did you know that the EU has been doing a lot of work in Jamaica? The EU provided some 23 billion Jamaican dollars to help people living in sugar-dependent areas. This means new houses for sugar estate workers, rehabilitated roads, improved schools, health centers, vocational training, business grants, and a wide range of action to improve the lives of people in sugar-dependent areas.
Life sweeter for true with the EU.
Now here's another special area of focus aimed at helping youth in some of the most vulnerable communities to get a second chance at life itself. It addresses the area of human development, which can reap the results of intellectual development and even economic growth. Take a look at the CSJP's Men with a Message.
The Citizen Security and Justice Program, CSJP, is a crime and violence prevention initiative. It was developed by the Ministry of National Security to enhance security and justice by addressing the social and economic factors that help foster crime. In 2010, the program launched an outreach initiative called CSJP's Men with a Message.
It is a group of messengers who are reformed men whose stories are aimed to inspire other young men.
Well, I've been a member from the inception of the group from 2010. My role is giving tips and caution to at-risk males, and just to show people that change is possible.
CSJP come and put me on the platform for a better life. My role in the program is to encourage my fellow member that we have a task and a journey. My role is also to empower the young youth them.
They were recruited using different criteria. There had to have been proof that they had been out of crime and violence for at least 2 years. They also had to get recommendations from the police, from the community members, and from especially like the community development committees. We must firstly understand that it's a journey. And if they were coming from the other extreme, you know that naturally a lot of workshops, a lot of personal development activities would have taken place along that journey. So they've been able to adjust their behavior. They've been able to reflect within themselves and say, if there are other youngsters who are looking up to me, the onus is on me to act in a particular way.
My name is Derek Jones. I'm a member of Men with a Message. I was in Central Lockup for around a month. I was a part of the problem, robbing people, park and corner, defend ends and turf, till end up go out fall on the wrong side. When I first wake up in jail, I can't believe that I'm in jail, I wake. So from there, my mindset started thinking different, knowing that jail was not the right place for me at that time.
I'm Kitsy Bryan, and I'm a Man with a Message. Being in institutions and seeing what life is like, you just have to make a decision. Is either you're going to continue like this or you're going to make amends of your life. I decided that coming back into civilization, that I wanted a change.
We definitely see where the Men with a Message initiative, I mean the CSJP on a whole, but also in particular the Men with a Message initiative, has been having significant impacts on the youngsters across this island. One such evidence is it being the demand that is there for the the program for the young men to come and speak at the different schools. And not only have they been asked to come and speak, but there have been many calls for them to return.
I remember a particular place, it was somewhere over in St. Andrew, but there was a young man there who said that he knew me before all of this, and you know, when I gave a message and I finished and the young man came, you know, he was crying, tears running down his face, and he was asking me that if I don't remember him, but honestly I didn't know him, but he said that he knew me from time before, and that he had loved the transformation. I can safely say that young man is a member of the National Institute, Engineering Institute, which is NTI. So to see that I was the person that inspired that, wow, that's great.
They are representing a brand that is synonymous to peace building, a brand that is synonymous with law and order, right? So the Men with a Message are always expected to be good ambassadors of the program, of the CSJP, and of the Ministry of National Security, which is our parent ministry.
Don't follow a friend or not, when I have nowhere going. Badness is madness. Stay in school. Give it. Teach with that. Anywhere we go, read something before we reach. Even if we sit down and waiting on the people, we need to read something. Read a book, and you would see the difference between you and the man when I read.
Favored, preferred, prepared mind. We have the power, you know, to form and shape our future. And I'd like to think that, you know, if you want good for yourself, then you'd want to choose a positive way too. Other people are doing what they want to do. So if I have a dream, I don't see the reason why I can't go there and achieve it, just like any other human being.
So, development in a country is not only about improving education or economic growth, it's simply but largely a way of improving the quality of life for everyone. Here are some more details on just how this government is working to improve the living conditions of ordinary Jamaicans. Number 1, development of our roadways. Government has created the Road Infrastructure Legacy Projects that fall under its Major Infrastructure Development Program, MIDP. Through this initiative, we're seeing several major roadways being rehabilitated. Number 2, development through the plastic ban. As of January this year, the government imposed a ban on the importation, manufacture, and distribution of single-use plastic bags, straws, and polystyrene. This initiative will help in areas such as climate change, pollution, and the safety of sea animals. Number 3, and our last point, development in economic investment. Government gave ordinary Jamaicans the opportunity to purchase shares in Wigton Wind Farm Limited. 11 billion shares at 50 cents each were offered under the IPO. While those are some pretty impressive examples, they are just pieces of a much larger puzzle, coming together to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and as you can see, to do your business. Today's magazine has come to an end, but if you missed anything, you can watch it all again on our website or our YouTube channel. You can also keep up with the JIS team on our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter pages. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. You take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point, dissecting the issues. Offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On Point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
On this episode of Wealth Magazine, we feature Chris Daring, CEO of Ready TV. Fascinated by sports, Daring has made this an integral part of his life, a passion which led to his first experience in the corporate world as an intern at Citibank. Over time, Daring proved to be a successful serial entrepreneur, with his newest undertaking being Ready TV, a venture that promises to revolutionize the telecommunications landscape.
I'm Chris Daring, President and CEO of Ready Communications. Born in Kingston, grew up in Mona, so I was a Mona boy. Grew up as a young footballer, cricketer, in playing football and cricket in Mona. In fact, every day, my entire childhood, I think of every day of playing football in Buttercup Park, which was right behind the house. I grew up in a very close-knit family, very disciplinarian family. My father was an engineer, very bright man, but a very strict disciplinarian when it came to things like academics. My mother was also quite strict and very keen on academics as well. So you certainly did your homework every evening and more with her. And she had I just always remember that she had just such an extensive vocabulary, that you learned quite quickly. I have two brothers, one older, one younger, and an older sister, who was particularly influential in my life because of how bright she was. Because you were always being compared to her. Your grades were never ever good enough because she never ever got a B. It was always straight A's, that type of thing. And so you sort of were always intimidated. You never grew up under any illusion of male superiority. She was faster than me as well, so she could run pretty quickly, and she was brighter than me, so you always had this healthy level of respect. So it was a normal household, but we would have dinners together and family vacations together. And it wasn't, it was a middle class upbringing. We didn't have money for extravagances, but and I know there were very tough times for them. There was a period when my father was out of a job, but you would never know as a child. There was always meals on the table. There was always goodies and presents and Christmas parties and birthday parties. And looking back, I realized, wow, these two wonderful parents shielded me from everything, because I know that there must have been tough times. So that was a great upbringing, and I think it really helped to form, who I am today. My life is a series of events that changed the trajectory of my life. And so, looking back, the first major event took place in prep school at St. Teresa's Prep, where I was in kindergarten A. I just finished kindergarten A and was moving into kindergarten B. And I was sitting in the classroom in kindergarten B. And I remember the day the nun came for me and took me over to the big school. and put me in second grade. I didn't know what grade I was being put in, but I just remember being taken out of kindergarten with all my friends and taken over to the big school, because they were like two separate parts of the St. Teresa's Prep. And they put me in second grade. And halfway through the term, the nuns called my parents in for a meeting, because even though I was keeping up with the schoolwork, I was falling asleep, I was getting tired during the days. And they were worried that I was malnourished because I was a little small for a 7-year-old. That's when my mother said, but he's only 4. They had made a clerical error and had put me in second grade. I was 4 years old when they did that. But I guess because of the upbringing of my parents, I was keeping up with the schoolwork. But physically, I was getting tired. So even now I laugh and I think about I was the only person, because they made special arrangements. Because by that point, they could not put me back into kindergarten. I'm a second grader. But they made special arrangements every day where they would take me out for nap time. And I was the only person that had that privilege in second grade. So, but what happened is, why it changed the trajectory was it put me way ahead of my peers. But also when I finished prep school, I was too young to be able to sit the common entrance, because you had to be 11. And so even though I finished top of the class in prep school in 6th grade, I could not sit the common entrance. So you literally had to find something for me to do. And in those days, there was a private high school by the name of Campion that was not part of the normal public secondary school system. They were a private high school. Campion then changed my trajectory, because being a private school, it was a school where the wealthy of Jamaica sent their children. And I saw a different side of Jamaica that I had never dreamt of. I saw wealth that I had never dreamt of. I saw cars that I had never dreamt of. People were, being dropped to school in cars. I was one of the few people at Campion taking the bus to school and back. So, it introduced me to a whole new world of Jamaica, and lifelong, again, friends and contacts that happened to be the top of the business world. And in fact, when I walked into first form, I didn't see anybody that kind of looked like me. There were very few people that looked like me. You're talking about just a different look, because it was a different social strata. And I went and sat down beside one person that kind of looked like me, and it turned out to be Peter Bunting. And so we've remained lifelong friends ever since. So high school for me was a blur of sports. That's what I remember. I just played every sport you could think of, because I love sports, and sports has always been a driving passion. I was absolutely sure I was going to play professional football or cricket for the West Indies. And I started off on the cricket side, but I ended up playing on the under-19 team with guys like Courtney Walsh and Patrick Patterson. We had a very strong team, and we went down to a tournament in the Eastern Caribbean, in Trinidad, I think it was, where we came upon a side called Little Leeward Islands. And I was batting number 3 for Jamaica, so I was a big bat and felt pretty good about myself and my technique and so on, and my talent level. And then there was a number 3 for Leeward Islands that, when he came to the wicket and started smashing Courtney Walsh and Patrick Patterson around the park, and I'm looking at this guy and I'm saying, I can't bat like that. You feel pretty good about yourself, but you look at this guy and you go, wow, you see the gap between yourself and this awesome talent. That guy turned out to be Richard Richardson, that was playing for the Leeward Islands, who ended up captaining the West Indies team at one point. And then I started to get a lot of pressure from my parents, especially my father, because this sports thing, this sports hobby in his mind was just not the avenue for somebody like me. And so he started to pressure me, and at one point I'd been getting all these offers of football scholarships that I kept turning down, because I wanted to stay out here and play professional football, eventually go to England maybe, or play for the West Indies in cricket. So eventually he gave me an ultimatum. You either take up a football scholarship or he's sending me to military school. So I ended up taking a football scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan. Came back from West Virginia to Jamaica thinking, well, I now have it made. I have a degree in marketing and economics. I'm gonna go get a job and start my corporate career. But I was in for a rude awakening, because Jamaica, like everywhere else in the world, it's who you know and contacts and family connection. So I ended up writing over 100 letters and sending out applications to over 100 companies in Jamaica. I did not get a single interview.
Every day you wake up, you have another opportunity to make this little island better, safer, a place where we all can be proud to call home. It's time we all recognize that every little thing we do has an impact on the Jamaica we live in now and the country we're leaving for our children. So promise me this, promise yourself this. No more will we tolerate criminals, even if it's our relatives. Tell them they're doing something wrong. Tell them to stop. Tell them no more robbing our children of the Jamaica they deserve. Tell them no more crime.
So I ended up writing over 100 letters and sending out applications to over 100 companies in Jamaica. I did not get a single interview. So it was a very depressing summer where you're just reading all these rejection letters. Not even an interview, like nobody was even interested in seeing me. And then sports again came to my rescue. And another event took place that changed my trajectory. I was playing for Real Mona, which has been my lifelong team that I've always played for. And the coach at the time was a guy called Peter Moses, who was also at Citibank. However, he created a little post inside of Citibank, even against his own HR manager's objections, called an intern, so that I could come in, I get a little stipend, and understudy one of the main managers on managing corporate accounts. And as it turned out, I was understudying this young lady, and she met in a car accident, a very serious car accident. So somebody had to take over and manage the portfolio. I wasn't a full-time employee, but I'd been handling them. I'd been understudying her. So Peter kind of maneuvered me into being able to take over the portfolio. I started to do quite well with the portfolio, so they made me an offer full-time, and I went to Citibank, and of course that opened me to a whole new world of finance and international finance and investment banking, and they trained me on the job. I reunited with a schoolboy friend, Peter Bunting, at Citibank, and again we made the linkage again, and that is the genesis of how Daring, Bunting and Golding was formed. Peter went off and became the CEO of a small merchant bank, new merchant bank called Manufacturers Merchant. Around the same time, a group approached me to set up another merchant bank called Corporate Merchant. So I became the CEO of Corporate Merchant. There was a young attorney who was in fact not even a full-time attorney yet. He was still studying law at Oxford. But he was also a Campionite who we were all friends with. I used to play cricket with him, called Mark Golding. And Mark was just so bright that both Peter and I used to use him to structure any complex transactions whilst he was a student in law school. He was so bright. So one day we were still friends even though we were competing in the market. We were having lunch and we sort of were talking to each other about the deals we had been doing, and we kind of said, we should have probably have done it for ourselves rather than for these other entities, corporate and manufacturers and so on. And it stuck with me that it was a Friday and I was going to Negril that weekend with some friends, and I guess in a drunken stupor in Negril partying, it just occurred to me, it kept occurring to me that line, we should have done it for ourselves. And I came back from Negril, I called Peter on the Monday morning and told him, I've just resigned from corporate. Are you in or are you out? And of course he was like, what are you talking about? I said, we just spoke on Friday that, listen, let's do it for ourselves. And he said, but that was just an idea. I said, Peter, I've already resigned. Because that's what I did. I went in and resigned and said, listen, I'm going to start an investment bank. And so we started Daring, Bunting and Golding, which started in the living room of the townhouse I was renting, and to demonstrate to the public what investment banking was, we said, let us take ourselves public. And so we launched Daring, Bunting and Golding. We raised capital from the market. And a really interesting thing happened the evening we successfully closed that share issue. And you have to understand, that had never been done really before on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. The Jamaica Stock Exchange was seen as this, really the kingdom of major corporations. So for three little youngsters to decide that they're going to launch their own investment bank and raise capital and list on the stock exchange, it was quite controversial and very high profile at the time because of its controversy. I recall, columnists writing about this travesty which was about to take place, and this, it was just seen as crazy. But something really interesting happened the evening that we had successfully closed that issue. We were driving in Mark's, I think must have been a 1970 Fiat. I mean, it was really a beat-up old car. And we're driving from Duncox on North, where we had the closing of the issue, to Peppers to meet all our friends who were gathered there to celebrate. This thing had never been done before, and we were going to be listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. And on Knutsford Boulevard, Mark's car broke down. And so the three of us, Daring, Bunting and Golding, ended up pushing Mark Golding's car all the way up Knutsford Boulevard to Mikey Holdings gas station at the top of the road. And it has always been a reminder for us, because here it was, we were related, we had raised all this money, and we were pushing a car up Knutsford Boulevard. And it really, kept us grounded, I think, for the rest of the time. During the time at the DBNG, then the West Indies Cricket Board came calling. And of course, being just a sports fanatic, and I always have been, I always will be a sports fanatic. When the West Indies Cricket Board comes to you and says to you, listen, we want you to give us some time, we want to help, we want you to set up the commercial operations of the West Indies Cricket Board and also pull together the region's bid to host the Cricket World Cup. It was an offer that was just, too good to refuse. And in fact, I thought they were asking me to do it for free. I didn't realize they were actually talking to me as a paid consultant. Frankly, I had lunch with Pat Russell, who I was meeting for the first time, and Teddy Griffith from the West Indies Board. And they outlined it to me, and I went home all excited, thinking, okay, well, I'm going to be like Pat, who is a volunteer, and Teddy as a volunteer to do this thing. And then they started sending me over contracts with money and how much they were going to pay me to do it. And I was like, wow, that was just the icing on the cake, because I was already made up my mind I was going to go and do it. Now they were going to pay me to do it, to be a paid professional. And that again changed my trajectory, because it introduced me to a world, the commercial world of the business of sport, that I had no idea really existed. You kind of have a fleeting idea, but you did not understand how complex, how intricate, how exciting it is, So I ended up going to the West Indies Cricket Board. I set up the commercial operations of the board, hired different people, set up all of our broadcast rights contracts. I negotiated for years the broadcast rights agreements in the UK, in India, in Pakistan, in South Africa, Australia, the US. So that introduced me to a whole new world, because then you had to start doing negotiations and regular meetings with people like ESPN and Sky Sports and so on. So I got introduced to a fascinating world. And it was one day I was sitting in the skybox at a Chelsea match. Now, I'm not a Chelsea fan, I'm an Arsenal fan, let me make it clear. But it just happened to be a game Sky had invited me to. So I'm sitting there, it was 1999. And I'm sitting there watching this football match, and I didn't realize who I was sitting beside, but we were talking football. And he realized from how passionate I was and how knowledgeable I was about the game and the players and who had been the latest transfers and and so on. He said to me, so the Barclays Premiership is very popular in the Caribbean. I said, yes, it is, but we don't get to see it live. He says, oh yes, that's right. We sell it as a part of the North American package of rights. So we don't, it's, the Caribbean is far too small for us to deal with. So I said to him, would you carve off the Caribbean? And I'm thinking I'd come down back to the Caribbean and try to sell it to the local stations to put it on so I could get to see my beloved Arsenal play. And he said no. He happened to be the commercial director of the Barclays Premiership. And he said no, it's too. We watched football, we chatted football and had a great time. And then at halftime we were having dinner. And he says to me, tell me something, do you know Courtney Walsh? And my ears pricked up and said, yes, Courtney is one of my best friends. And he was still playing cricket at the time. He was playing for the West Indies. And he was playing for Gloucester, so he was in England at the time. And he said, well, I'll tell you what. My son is a fanatic about Courtney Walsh. He's a young fast bowler. His 15th birthday is coming up. He's modeled himself off of Courtney Walsh and everything, just idolizes Courtney Walsh. If you can get me an autographed picture of Courtney Walsh, I'll see what I can do about carving off the Caribbean rights. Well, I called Courtney right away. Courtney took him out to lunch, him and his son out to lunch, had a training session with the kid, and that was the genesis of Sportsmax. He carved off the Caribbean Barclays Premiership rights for me. We bought it at a steal, virtually nothing, and we said, okay, what to do? I took it to the 2 stations that I knew of in Jamaica and a couple of stations in Trinidad. Nobody was interested in showing the Barclays Premier League. So I said, well, what do I do with these rights? Let me start a sports channel. And so right on a plane, I did a little PowerPoint presentation with the logo and everything, came up with the name Sportsmax, and launched Sportsmax in 2001. Cable and Wireless had fallen on pretty hard times. They were being decimated by the competition, and I think that's what attracted me the most. To get into an industry that I was already familiar with through the sports rights, and turn around a company. One of the first things we were able to do is to turn around the market in terms of its own mobile market share, which had been down in the doldrums, and turn around the brand. So that was an exciting opportunity. For us to have such a significant portion of the population not being exposed to all of this information really holds us back.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
Ready TV is the first product of what we're anticipating to be a range of telecommunications related products. It is a pay TV platform. It is a pay TV service that we're going to roll out in Jamaica. Where we should be rolled out by the first quarter 2017. We want to be the affordable choice for Jamaicans. We have a 12-year license that we were just awarded by the Broadcast Commission. And we're going to be rolling out that service that I think Jamaicans are going to be very, very pleased to receive. Most of Jamaica, or certainly a very significant part of Jamaica, still only gets free-to-air analog television. Our goal is to totally change that. Cable television or pay TV and the programming and information of pay TV is still the most important, ubiquitous way of sharing information and education. So for us to have such a significant portion of the population not being exposed to all of this information really holds us back. It is the starter pack for broadband. So everybody's talking about getting internet into everybody's homes. In reality, let's first get basic, proper television into everybody's home. And I think, people are going to be very surprised and very, very pleased on both counts, both the convenience and the affordability. And basically our tagline of TV when you are ready is going to be very apt in describing Ready TV service. It is not possible to compete if you don't back yourself. Because life is a competition. Anything that you're going to do, you're going to be competing against somebody. And if you don't back yourself, you have no chance, either against the strongest competitor or the weakest competitor. You have to back yourself. You have to believe in your ability to overcome whatever challenges are going to face you. You know, I see so many people coming out of UWI, and a lot of them are women. The vast majority of them are women. But for some reason, society has almost trained them not to back themselves. They're the ones that need to be taking the entrepreneurial risks. They have the foundation. And they have far more ability to compete. They just don't realize it. Now, more and more women are realizing that. But generally, whether male or female, you have no confidence in your ability, you'll never succeed. And confidence does not mean arrogance. It means just believing that, hey, if I don't know what I need to know, I can find out what I need to know and learn it. A lot of people think I'm a snob, which is strange. Yeah. It's strange to me, but I understand it. I'll tell you something. I'm terrified of flying, for instance. As much as I fly, I know. And my friends know this, my close friends know this, because they know the night before I have to fly, I find difficulty sleeping. And there's just something in my brain that just won't comprehend how they're keeping this huge monstrosity of a machine up in the air for 14 hours, like when I have to make a trip to India or somewhere. So I'm afraid of flying. So when I walk into a plane, one of the things that gets me nervous is when I actually look back in the plane and see this long cabin full of people. So I will totally just ignore everybody, you know, and there'll be people back there who know me, who trying to catch my eye to even say hi, and I'm not looking back because I know I'm anxious. And then that's then misinterpreted as, hey, Chris, boy, such a snob kind of thing. But it's really, I just can't look back. And then of course, it's almost impossible to be a snob if you play football. I mean, football is played in the ghettos of Jamaica. That's who you grow up with as your friends, that people who you love. I garden every day, in the morning before I go to work, at night when I get home, and gardening ranges everything from plants, breaking off a piece of a plant and plant it and trying to get it to catch. So yes, I'm a kleptomaniac when it comes to plants. I go to people's houses and break off pieces and steal plants. To watering, just watering the garden just relaxes me quite a bit. Of course, I have a fantastic family. I have a beautiful wife and a fantastic 4-year-old daughter who keeps me very energized. I have a 22-year-old son who gives me nothing but trouble, so that always keeps you on edge as well. It occupies your time, and so I enjoy spending a lot of time with them, and so I enjoy that quite a bit. My wife is Brazilian, so, you know, again, these things, trajectories and events that take you into the unbeaten world. The funny thing is, football is still my favorite sport. As much as time I've spent in cricket, I'm fanatic over football. So I've been to every football World Cup since 1990, you know, and I always pretended to be Brazilian, except in '98, of course, when Jamaica went. Because I just loved the way the Brazilians played and celebrated the game. Going to a Brazil Football World Cup game, that party starts 6 o'clock in the morning and ends 6 o'clock the next morning. It's a fantastic, just to be part of the Brazilian continent. So I would put on my Brazilian shirt and go to all these matches pretending to be Brazilian. So when I met this really beautiful Brazilian girl who happened to be working for Cable & Wireless in Miami, you know, I guess fate kind of ended up bringing us together. Wealth is being able to enjoy your life, and so it doesn't mean that you have a lot of money. It means that you satisfy the money you have and enjoy it to ensure that you have a quality of life that for you and your family that you want to enjoy. And I certainly feel wealthy because I have incredible friends that I have a great time with. I have an incredible family that I have a good time with, and we're able to put food on the table and put people through college, and you know, so I feel wealthy because of that.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious
about business.
Serious about business.
Kaleidoscope Paint celebrated its official relaunch in Jamaica at the Crew Bar in Kingston, and Business Access TV was there to bring you all the highlights. Stay tuned.
To the management team from KPL Group, the parent company for Kaleidoscope Paints Trinidad, Mr. Mahindra Deval Singh, the export manager, and I'll also take the opportunity to extend the sincerest apologies on behalf of Dale Parson, the CEO of KPL Group. He could not be here, but of course, he certainly hopes that everyone has a fantastic launch. To the reps from Matalon Distributors, in particular, Andrew Matalon, CEO, Nicole Masters, the marketing manager, the management team from Matalon Homes, the management team from Tankweld, specially invited guests from the real estate, the building, and the construction industry. I also noticed that we have some interior decorators here as well. Friends of the media, all. Good afternoon. My name is Terry Carroll, and I have the pleasure of being your host this afternoon for the Kaleidoscope Paints Limited media launch. And I'll be very honest with you, it's not just another Sunday, and we're not just launching another product. But thank you so very much for being here. Now, the reason why this is very timely and the reason why this launch is very relevant is because, one, Jamaicans like to spruce up them place, especially at Christmas time. Everyone knows this. Even if you weren't planning on painting, once you start to see the festivities and the vibrancy, you say, all right, you have to at least spruce up some area in your place. Number two, we have seen the development that is taking place in Jamaica. On every corner, on every street, we see the development, the construction industry doing very well, which means that wherever we have building construction, we clearly need paint. And another thing that makes this so beautiful is because Jamaicans, we are known for supporting and loving family-owned businesses. And this is one of them. Now, for those of you who may not know, Kaleidoscope is a top quality paint that will sell itself once customers start to use it. They're celebrating over 48 years of being a leader, not just in the Caribbean, but in South America. The person who is probably best to speak about this product is Mr. Mahindra Deval Singh, and I hope I pronounced your name correctly, the export manager from the KPL Group. Please make him welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's my pleasure to be here to help to reintroduce Kaleidoscope Paints to the Jamaica market. This really feels like we are coming back home, as we were strong players in this market for about 6 years, but exited when our distributors at the time, Facey Commodity, changed ownership from the Matalon Group. So it's more than fortuitous that we are back with the Matalons, with whom we have had so much success in the past. Both our companies share similar values and hold our corporate family culture close to our strategic alliances. We believe that our partnership with Matalon Distributors could not have come at a more opportune time, as it will allow us to effectively represent our brand with an organization that is well respected and long established in Jamaica. This alliance with Matalon Distributors has also created an avenue for us to share our technology with the Tankwell Metals Group, of which Matalon Distributors is a subsidiary. And on behalf of the KPL board in Trinidad, I have to say a special thank you to Mr. Peter Matalon and to Mr. Chris Bicknell, Group CEO and Chairman of Tankwell Metals, for giving us this opportunity. Today is a launchpad for the re-establishment of the KPL Group through our high-quality products as a household name in Jamaica. This year, Kaleidoscope Paints celebrates 48 years of being a leader in the Caribbean paints industry. Our mission is to be recognized as a world-class family-owned company in the Caribbean and South America, recognized for manufacturing high-quality products and services while providing personalized business relationships, customer satisfaction, employee motivation, and shareholders' value. Our core values emanate from our mission and is entwined in our business operations. We are family-oriented and seek to cultivate partnerships with our customers as opposed to mere business transactions. KPL's brand is well established throughout the CARICOM territories and some South American countries. 4 decades of Kaleidoscope's history have taught us what's important to our customers. We have not only responded to their need for beauty, color, performance, and durability, we keep surpassing expectations with new, innovative, and high-quality products that continue to be winners. In technical evaluations against top leading competitors, over the past 5 years, Kaleidoscope has been the standout winner in the following categories, which are key essentials for the Caribbean consumers and contractors. We are the best in whiteness, most brilliant white, the whitest white. Opacity, best coverage, ability, and obliteration properties. Gloss, highest sheen. Scrubbability, which is durability, longevity, power to withstand exposure to the Caribbean elements. Viscosity and alkalinity, rated number 1. But that's in Trinidad, and Trinidad is half the population of that of Jamaica. And we hope that our renewed presence in the Jamaica market can contribute towards propelling our brand to even greater heights. We will be bringing to you in Jamaica our best-in-class, quality, price, and multi-products in paints and finishes. Because if you need to paint it, we can cover it. We are so excited to be back in Jamaica, and thank you so much for being here today. I thank you all.
Thank you for that. As I was listening to him, he spoke about beauty, color, performance, durability, and the fact that they listen to their customers, they have good relationships with them, they adjust, they innovate, and of course, they deliver. So we welcome you with open arms to Jamaica and to the Jamaican market once more. Now, whenever I hear about Matalons, I think rich. Real Tanta rich. In terms of quality, professionalism, customer service, and what they do. From Matalon Homes to Matalon Roofing to Matalon Distributors, they are everywhere, and they've done very well and expanded very well because what they do is they deliver quality. Therefore, as the distributors of Kaleidoscope Paints, it makes sense for me to introduce Andrew Matalon, who is going to bring the key message this afternoon. Please make him welcome.
Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us on this special occasion, the launch, or should I say, the relaunch of Kaleidoscope Paints here in Jamaica. We actually have a history with Kaleidoscope Paints. When our family-owned Facey Commodity, who were the local distributors of the brand in Jamaica. So when they decided to come back to the country, it was a natural that they also came home to us, so to speak. A new alliance with Matalon Distributors has been forged. We are certain that as soon as Jamaicans are reintroduced to the top quality Kaleidoscope Paint brand, they will fall in love once again. Kaleidoscope Paints is a household name in Trinidad and Tobago, where they were founded over 40 years ago. Today, they have spread their brand to cover 15 Caribbean countries. They pride themselves on being leaders in the paints and coatings field by constantly innovating, continuously improving their quality, and always giving the customers what they need, which are beautiful paint colors with exquisite finishes and time-tested durability. These claims are not made without warrant. The technical evaluations shows that this is who they are. Over the past 5 years, Kaleidoscope has come out on top against the other leading competitors as #1 in whiteness, opacity, gloss, scrubbability, viscosity, and alkalinity. The brand is renowned for its wide range of vibrant colors, best coverage, top qualities of paints, stains, varnishes, and other finishes for the home, industrial, marine, and automotive sectors. From contractor to the household painter, together we have the brand that offers you the best value by far. Since we are in the midst of a construction boom, this is an opportune time for Kaleidoscope to be re-entering the Jamaican market. From residential and commercial developments to hotels, the new face of Jamaica is under construction, and that is evident everywhere that you look. We don't expect this boom to slow down anytime soon, and that's why we at Madelon Distributors plan to be an integral player with Kaleidoscope Paints in coloring and covering it all. We are so confident in this brand that we decided to pave the way ourselves. Kaleidoscope Paint will be on all future Madelon Homes projects, which are known for our high quality finishes and designs. We feel this is a statement which shows our customers that we practice what we preach. The future is certainly bright and colorful with Kaleidoscope Paints and Madelon Distributors. Over the next year, we are planning to employ at least 20 members of staff to grow alongside the brand. We see the scope of our partnership allowing for us to take on the manufacturing of the paints here at our head office here in Jamaica. We look forward to the future and a long-lasting relationship with Dale and the rest of the Kaleidoscope team. So again, thank you for coming, and let's begin to paint Jamaica in a kaleidoscope of colors.
Very well said. The future is colorful and bright, and again, he brought home the point that there is a construction boom, and certainly practicing what you preach sends a very clear message to customers. So I look forward to seeing what the future Madelon Homes look like, and with the colors covering all of the walls. He says that this is the best value by far, and I think when I looked at your swatches, I believe I'm really in love with Cool Olive. I think that color definitely caught my eye. On behalf of all of us here, we thank you for coming back home, of course, associating and aligning with Madelon Distributors, and we wish you all the best in the Jamaican market. Have a great week ahead. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents will say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands!
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life runs art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
Kaleidoscope Paints is relaunching here in Jamaica. What's the significance of you guys coming back to Jamaica?
Well, what happened back in the 80s and 90s when we were with Facey Commodity, we did quite well in this market. The paints, the product, the brand name was well accepted. It took us a while, but what happened is we got an opportunity to go back or to come back again into the market with the Madelon family business. We realized that a lot of people do recognize the name from back then. Everybody knows Facey Commodity was a strong company then, and we are extremely happy to actually come back with the very Matalan Group, Tanquils Metals Limited, strong, long-established companies in Jamaica, similar to Kaleidoscope Paints in Trinidad. We share similar values, and we found, hey, this looks like a good partnership. Let's do it, and this is what we are doing really.
As you mentioned, Kaleidoscope Paints is based in Trinidad. Talk to us a little bit about Kaleidoscope Paints. You've been around for almost 50 years. Just give us a brief overview of the company.
Okay, sure. So Kaleidoscope Paints was founded by the late Stephen Parson. Mr. Parson, history, was working in the paint industry in Trinidad. He initially worked with a company called British Paints, which of course was an English company. British Paints was bought over by Berger Paints somewhere back in the 60s. When that happened, Mr. Parson was a pretty senior executive up to that time, and what he decided then was it was time for him to go and form his own paint company, because he had a long number of years and great experience with the British Paints company in particular. So that gave rise to, in 1972, Kaleidoscope Paints Limited became a registered company. They started manufacturing, and it has been a long road full of challenges, but also full of triumphs. The brand name is now a household name in Trinidad and the CARICOM region generally. We sell to a few markets in the Latin American and South American countries. It is our intention to take the brand international by moving out firstly to the other Spanish-speaking territories in the Caribbean. And Jamaica, not being in Jamaica, having been in Jamaica before, it was a natural step that we must re-establish our ties in the Jamaican economy before we attempt to stretch ourselves further.
What makes Kaleidoscope Paints a standout brand on the market?
Their quality and engineering that they go through regularly. They're tested and rated for a whole host of different awards against top competitors. They've made a name for themselves throughout the Caribbean, and in Jamaica is going to be their next big step.
Matalan Distributors is the official distributor of Kaleidoscope Paints here in Jamaica. What's the significance of the brand coming back to Jamaica?
Kaleidoscope Paints is known for their quality, high-end products, which is something that is associated with all of the products that we currently distribute, such as roofing, our housing developments on the Matalan Home side. Kaleidoscope falls into place with all of the stuff that we do right now.
And what can consumers expect from Kaleidoscope Paints?
We're coming here, and we're going to be here for the long run. We're coming big. The quality, everything that they have, the product speaks for itself. There's no doubt in that. We've tested it, we've gone through all of that, and we're actually using it on all of our Matalan Homes developments. That in itself is a statement, because we're known for high quality, high-end residential developments. So the fact that we're using it, we practice what we preach.
Kaleidoscope Paints has officially launched today. What are you most excited about being here in Jamaica?
I'm most excited that, one, it's a family-owned company, and because it's a family-owned company, we basically look to family values. So we look at the impact of when people are owning a home and how dear their home is to them. So we look at quality, we look at affordability, we look at scent, everything that goes into painting.
We know there are several paint brands on the market, but what makes you stand out the most?
We have variety and we have affordability. And I think that is the most important thing. And we are accessible. You know, sometimes some companies get so big, their customers are oftentimes alienated, but that's not the case. We go directly to our consumers, and they can expect that from Kaleidoscope at all times.
Do you have anything that people can look forward to in terms of getting the brand out there?
Of course, we'll constantly be doing promotions. We will be doing a lot of charity events. We really want people to benefit, the Jamaican people to benefit from this product in all aspects.
I'm excited to sample a few of their products. I'm actually very excited because they spoke to the fact that they've won awards for durability and scrubbability. The whitest white. I'm looking forward to actually trying their white colors because, you know, white and bright is kind of very popular now. So I'm actually looking forward to that. And then the colors that based on what I'm seeing, are actually quite beautiful. Very tropical almost, but subtle. So very excited.
As an interior decorator, from your stance, how do you think Jamaicans will accept this brand, basically?
I think they will. I think they'll accept it. As decorators, it's our responsibility to actually push the product. It's from the region, so that's very good. I really like to support and build local, and by local I mean the local region, at least in this case. So I think they will. The colors are beautiful. I can't imagine that people won't love the colors. I think they'll do really well because they actually really have some very, very nice colors. Yeah.
What are some of your favorite colors that you've seen so far?
I actually love Regatta Blue. I love Cool Olive. And there's Icicle and Spice. Oh my gosh, and there's one other beautiful Blossom. Blossom and Clay Pot are also some beautiful colors. Yeah.
We came together with Matalon Roofing to distribute paints within Jamaica. We formed the company Matalon Distributors, which will be distributing paints island-wide. And it's a wonderful opportunity for the Jamaican market, as it's another opportunity for them to diversify in terms of different products from another company. There are several paint companies locally, however, we're not worried about that, however, because Tankwell is a successful company in Jamaica, as well as Matalon Roofing rather, and Matalon Homes. And this partnership together, I believe, will do very well in Jamaica, as Matalon and Tankwell are household names, and Kaleidoscope was here before, and it came back in the island, and I believe that it's going to be another big thing for Tankwell, as we are launching out into other areas. We are now in trucking. We sell a wide range of hardware products island-wide. So this is a great opportunity with all the different developments that are taking place island-wide in terms of housing and in terms of hotels and so on. So it's a great opportunity for the island to have another company that is going to have competitive prices and brilliant colors and great quality and great service. And that's what we are here to do.
Thanks for tuning in to the official relaunch of Kaleidoscope Paints in Jamaica. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
Now presenting the Jamaica Social Investment Fund ICDP Enterprise Development Project. Entrepreneurial Grant Business Pitch.
This project is a $100 million grant that's seeking to target 50 small and micro business enterprises and give them training, capacity development, equipment, permits and license towards the development and the viability of their business. We have made a call for proposal in March of this year for entrepreneurs to submit for the opportunity to receive a grant between $1 and $5 million. We received more than 500 applications, and so we have now shortlisted them to 100. So we've invited that top 100 applicants here today, and they're going to have to pitch their business idea to a panel, and of the 150 will actually transpire and win the opportunity for the grants. One of the primary objectives of what we're doing here is employment. We want the business to be able to sustain not only the principals as the owners, but we also want the business to be able to employ at least 2 people. The next part of it, as we do in all of our projects like this, is it provides a learning instrument of how we can engage small and micro enterprises and take them to the next level.
Why we're doing this rigorous process? Because we want to identify the best potential entrepreneurs for this project. And keep in mind that we are speaking about a loan, so we want to ensure that applicants are committed, and that from a sustainability point of view, that upon receiving the support from JSIF, that in 2 or 3 years the enterprises will still be operational and the broader objective of the project would be achieved. Once we have now equipped them and they should be ready to start their production line going, we'll then have a mentorship component.
It has been a very competitive process. Jamaica is filled with persons with drive and passion. We're expecting that the best will be selected. And then for those who are not successful, we are also hoping to link them to other providers of services, because I'm telling you today, from what I've seen, it is an excellent, excellent, excellent opportunity. It's worthy of note that many persons coming here today already have some kind of semblance of a business, but they need the additional support to move that business to the other level, as well as some persons that come in with just proposals to start from scratch. On behalf of the JSIF, we want to really thank the DBJ and other partners from UWI who came to be part of the panel, and just to remind you that the JSIF is here and we're investing for community development.
The Caribbean is a rich biodiversity hotspot. It has over 11,000 plant species, and about 72 of these are found only in this region. This richness also extends to the Caribbean people. Their traditional knowledge of the region's varied natural resources has integrated nature into the economic and health sectors worldwide. It has also drawn many to research and use the region's biodiversity for medicinal, cosmetic, and pharmaceutical purposes. For example, the glaucoma medication Canasol is made from cannabis. However, Caribbean islands have fallen prey to biopiracy, where a country's resources are accessed and developed commercially, but the country gets little or no benefit from it. As the world benefits from the Caribbean's biodiversity, countries need to be compensated for their commercial use. Lawmakers need to ensure that their countries are legally prepared to give access to and benefits from commercial use of genetic resources. To ensure prior informed consent and mutually agreed terms of access established by the Nagoya Protocol, the Global Environment Facility, GEF, United Nations Environment Program, UNEP, and the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, IUCN, are jointly providing support to countries at different levels in order to advance towards functional access and benefit sharing. Under the Nagoya Protocol, countries from which natural resources are obtained for commercial developments are entitled to compensation. It also ensures indigenous knowledge from groups such as the Maroons, Rastafarians, and Amerindians can be credited and compensated if their traditional knowledge has been used for commercial purposes. Caribbean islands are putting the Nagoya Protocol in their legislative framework to safeguard their country's biodiversity and traditional knowledge. Let us all work together to protect our resources, do valuable research, and reap the benefits of sustainable bioprospecting in the region.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV. Despite the dark clouds surrounding the future of many Jamaican youth, Dream Jamaica is helping to shine some light by inspiring and empowering students to positively impact their world.
Parents, of course, to get consent to attend the program. We first started out at the University of the West Indies. That's the first localized program that was offered at the University of the West Indies. So that's my very first time participating, where we met professionals, we went on tours, we visited different businesses and went on various excursions. We learned a lot of skills such as study skills, resume writing, something that seems as simple but very important, such as how to create a professional email address and all of those things. So it was really a great experience, and after that I decided to attend every single year. Dream Jamaica is a safe place for high school students to come and interact, right, and to learn from each other and to learn from professionals as well. So we're a non-profit organization that was formed in 2008. Our mission is to provide mentoring relationships with students, along with educational and professional opportunities that will inspire and empower high school students to achieve their dreams, accomplish their goals, and to positively impact on their communities through service learning projects. So our program involves year-round mentoring as well as our quarterly community service projects. We also have a webinar series, and in the summer we have various programs that we offer to our students, such as the exploration program, that's for first and second farmers. We have the Career Discover program for third and fourth farmers and students. So we do the recruiting process. On a regular basis, they would have to matriculate through the programs from exploration onwards. But we do have students who come into our program and they're in sixth form, but they haven't gone through the other programs. But the internship program is for sixth formers. So what we do is we recruit those students, and then we liaise and communicate with local organizations and form a partnership. So through doing that now, in the whole process, we find out what career path the students want to venture on. For example, if they want to become a doctor, what we'll do is to communicate with the hospital to get an internship placement there. So the students would learn work etiquette, they'll learn professional skills, they'll build their networking skills, and they'll also acquire various exposure as it relates to that specific field that they want to enter in. The webinar session was recently introduced since last year, 2015. It's a new facet of our program offerings. So the webinar series is entitled The Superheroes Among Us. So it's the last Sunday of each month, except for December and March, where we have the public holidays. So the first webinar was in October, where we had Gordon Swaby of EduFocal. He's the CEO of EduFocal. Then we had Tari Lavelle from Digicel. And in January, everyone was all excited about having Zara Burton. She's Miss Jamaica Universe 2001, as well as the host of 18 Degrees North. She was on January. And in February, we had Dwayne Samuels. He's the CEO of Grickley. So it's very exciting. It's geared towards inspiring the students, informing them, and the end result is where we'll have empowered students. Because the professionals, they come in, they relate to the students so well, and they open up to them. Hey, I didn't have it all one time. I was in a position like you. Not to say that all our students are in a position where, you know, they're not financially constrained, because we don't limit our program to those. But what we do is to get them to come in to identify with the students, so the students can say, hey, it's not impossible, I can achieve my dream. He did it, I can do it too. Even if it's not the same profession or the same field that they want to go in, but it's to show that I can do it. So they come in, they tell them their background, where they're from, which school they went to, what was their dream as a child, explain to them what's the path they're on now and how they got there. They basically tell them, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. It's all in a half an hour to an hour session. You know, it's not very long, but at least they walk away being empowered. We're funded through corporate sponsorship as well as individual sponsorship. So we really use a grassroots effect as well. So anyone who wants to contribute can do so. It doesn't matter how much you have. So there's a link on the Dream Jamaica website where you can go and donate. And you can also write a check to the organization. We're a nonprofit, as we said before, so we really depend on external corporations and individuals to help in executing our mission and accomplishing whatever goals we have set out as it relates to empowering and impacting on the students. There is an application form for volunteers. There's a link on our website as well, www.dreamjamaica.org. You just click on the link and it will take you to the online form. You'd have to provide of course, your personal information, a little bit of background about yourself. And in order to protect our students, because when they're in our environment, we have to protect them, you will have to provide a reference from a JP, Justice of the Peace, or a pastor, basically a notable person from the community, in order for us to actually accept you into the program, as well as your resume and all of that. And we'll definitely do a face-to-face interview. One of my most memorable experiences was when I actually came back to volunteer as a program coordinator for the Career Discover program. It was the day of the closing ceremony, a parent call. We are having a little bit of, domestic issue and so forth, and it was weighing him down, like in his behavior and all of that. So him coming to the program, the mother saw a change that occurred in her son, and she actually called to thank the program. So that was one of the a memorable experience for me. I was like, wow, this program is so wonderful, because I know what it did for me, but to really hear from a parent, she has seen where the program has impacted on her child, and then she reached out to actually thank the organization. That was a very great moment. That moment really stood out for me.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Sundays at 4:30 p.m. It's all about Home Sweet Home. Get your half-hour dose of the business of real estate, from laws and concepts to reality, building, buying, or renting. Or what about trends in decor or renovations? Home Sweet Home will keep you up to date.
Each Dream Jamaican participant who successfully completes the summer program leaves having explored their passion, developed a portfolio of high school successes, and embarked on a path towards achieving their goals in life.
Being a participant has been very fun over the years. Got the chance to go to places that I've never been, or even revisit places that I always loved. Get to meet new people, professional people, make friends, and build bonds that I'm sure will last. In the 9th grade 2014, as we approached summer, I had this friend in my class who was a participant. He introduced the movement to me, saying that I should participate as well. And being young, not having much to do, I agreed to come on board as well. So I said, why not? And he helped me in order to sign up and get ready as it approached summer to get in the Dream Jamaica initiative. I've grown a lot in terms of me knowing what I'd want to do with my life. And it has helped me grow morally, learning more about the world, the work world, and how to approach everything in it. I participated in all of the areas that Dream Jamaica offered. So I participated in the community services, the summer programs, the webinars, and even the workshops as well. What I love most about the community service aspect of Dream Jamaica, it lets you focus on someone other than yourself, to give off yourself. Just actually reach out as far as you can, helping the community, helping others around you. The webinar, they help you to build yourself, be more sure of what you would want to become in life, through interacting with persons who have been in these categories that you plan to consider. For persons who this coming up summer won't be having anything to do, I'd encourage you to come, make use of your time, because it's a really good movement, good people. You learn new things that you haven't heard of before, build new experiences, new bonds, friendships, all of that.
I've been a part of Dream Jamaica since 2012. That's 5 years now. Currently a student at the Calabar High School. My first year hearing about the program, I did not know what to expect, and I never really know what Dream Jamaica was. But after coming to the program, getting exposure, getting information, getting knowledge, because I was in a deep abyss about what I wanted to be. And I knew what I wanted, but I didn't know what or how would I achieve my goals. And through Dream Jamaica, they saw influence and potential in me, and they decided to build on that potential. And because of that, I didn't stop. I continued to go from the time I started. And that really helped me, and I really appreciate them for that. In grade 8, I had this very lovely form teacher that also taught me English and literature. Her name is Mrs. Archer Anderson. And she heard about the program and heard that it's a good program, and being the person that she is, came and distributed the information to the class. Now, not many persons were interested, but I was interested, and me and about 6 others went there and got the information, and that is how we signed up, and from we have started, we haven't stopped.
Shamil, who is the founder of Dream Jamaica, is a past student of St. Jago High School, which I'm also a past student. So when I was in 3rd form, she came to drop off some items in regards to giving back to the labs and stuff. You're a past student, you want to give back to your school kind of thing. And she came to devotion and did devotion, and she introduced herself. And when she was telling me personally on the sideline, she said, she looked at us and said, we lacked a dream. So I was like, okay. And then now she said to us, write your name, your aspiration, and your contact information on a piece of paper and say, we'll contact you in regards to anything that will come up. And within a couple of weeks, I got a call from her saying that, would you like to go to Los Angeles to an aviation camp? So she called and said, I was like, what? You serious? How much is it going to cost? And she was like, don't worry about the money. So I was like, okay. And then in no time, I was in Los Angeles flying planes for a week. In Dream Jamaica, another exercise really was that we had to do voluntary work, whether it's our beach cleanups, annual beach cleanups at Port Royal, or we go to our children's home to feed the less fortunate. There are other different activities that was done in regards to volunteerism. And even just being on the team to know that you're volunteering, your fulfillment is know that you're making lives better in the end.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Go for God Family Church.
Today's message is for those of you who thought that Jesus was finished.
Inspiring messages.
I'm here to tell you today that you are excellent. God is excellent.
Empowerment from biblical motivation.
To be glorified means to endow with authority. A woman is a powerful, creative being.
Join Pastor Christopher Morgan and the Go for God team as we go for God.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
Sundays at 4:30 p.m. It's all about Home Sweet Home. Get your half-hour dose of the business of real estate, from laws and concepts to reality, building, buying, or renting. Or what about trends in decor or renovations? Home Sweet Home will keep you up to date.
Is a violation of human rights. Its impact ranges from immediate to long-term physical, mental, and sexual consequences, sometimes resulting in death. It negatively impacts women's general well-being and can prevent us from fully participating in society. Be a better human being. No more violence against women. No more.
The Dream Jamaica team recently completed their community projects, which showed them giving back to the community.
When this land was developing, the parents asked that instead of taking the children down by Gregor Park in the sun and rain sometime, we, could open one here. So I started one on my veranda with 15 students. And there, at the time, the place wasn't developed. I have up to 90 odd children. I have to turn my bedroom also into classroom. And then I had shed outside as the population grew. So the shed was not pleasing to the eye, call it that. And one day a worker from SDC was passing and the children and stopped and asked if this is a school. And I told her yes, and she said, you can get help from JSIF. And so I attend a meeting and apply, and then the school was built. It was completed in 2002. My teachers are well trained because grade 5 teacher, she have her diploma in primary education, and she's also trained at art, early childhood. She's seeking about going into her first degree come September. She's here with me she just leave high school, And she take time, who the letter went to Michael. She went to Michael, got her diploma, and the other teachers have 2 more. This teacher here, class 2, and 1 in class 1, hoping to go to Michael this coming year. Where the school is situated, it is well protected around. From the school built, we don't have any break-in and things, so you know, the community respect the school. And I'm glad about that, and the children, they are well protected until they are picked up by their parents. And they have trained teachers and volunteers coming to help them. You saw some ladies in blue, they are from art. From time to time, we take in volunteers, teachers who want to do the teaching practice from colleges and things. We have several of them because the school was even given a plaque from Michael because of the amount of student teacher we help out. One of my past students is Christopher Reed. He used to attend this school. He's now attending Calabar. He is in 6th form, I think, in lower 6. And he came to me one day and told me that his club that he is in want to do a project. And he was thinking of his basic school. So I told him, yeah, man, anything. And then he get back to me and said they are thinking of painting the school, but they were thinking of outside. But on the day that they came, they said the school is small, so they think that they could do both in and out. So they started. Rain was a factor too. Rain came down, but because they weren't professionals, they were just doing their thing. It took them the whole day, so they couldn't get to do outside. But I'm grateful anyhow because I've received some paint. Right now, the kitchen cupboards, they're old, 15 years now, and especially the part to the sink, it is being water soaked. And it's going apart. I mean to see the little shells dropping down. And I'm supposed to, it is required from early childhood that we have a 3rd sink. So, if I could get the kitchen rehabilitated, I would be glad. We're thinking of adding on another classroom down the back there for both storage because we need storage area too. So that the next building that we're adding on would use it as an extra curriculum classroom with storage area.
I want to say to Dream Jamaica that they should continue nurturing the youth and turning them into responsible citizens and assets to the country that will help us in the long run and continue doing the good work.
It's not just an organization, but I refer to Dream Jamaica as a Dream Jamaica family. The word family, it provides a comfort. You're comfortable here, you feel welcome, it's warm, you're built. When you're in a relationship or so forth, that helps you to grow and it helps to nurture you. And you feel a part of that entity that builds people. There's no way you can walk away from that. Everyone wants to grow. Everyone wants to feel accepted. Everyone wants to feel as if, hey, I can accomplish something. You want to be around persons that are positive and that will give you motivational talks. Tell you that, hey, don't you think that you can't do that? You can. If you put your mind to it, you can. You want to be around persons like that, right? And the Dream Jamaica family, they really do that. They really do.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
I do have a dream, and I know you have a dream, that we can make Jamaica the place of choice for you to choose to live, to work, to do business.
We are going for the Jamaica we want. Making steady progress to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals in our National Development Plan, Vision 2030 Jamaica. We have teamed up with valued partners, working through strong institutions to reduce inequalities in our society. We commit to being responsible in our production and consumption, ensuring we build sustainable communities in harmony with nature. Jamaica is making significant strides in providing quality, lifelong education for all, enabling our people to be engaged in decent work to drive economic growth, equipping men and women with the skills to build resilient infrastructure, promote sustainable industry, foster innovation, and utilize new technologies. Urgent action is being taken to manage natural resources responsibly, protecting clean water sources, ensuring access to water and sanitation for all, diversifying to alternative energy sources, conserving our environment and sustaining life below water and on land. Jamaica is making moves to ensure healthy lifestyles for the well-being of our people. We're promoting sustainable agriculture to achieve food security, improve nutrition, and end extreme hunger, putting in the work to end poverty in all its forms. We're on track in achieving our Sustainable Development Goals through realizing our Vision 2030 Jamaica. We will leave no one behind.
And I'm chilling right now, cause we're winning right now.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV, prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
All human life is precious. Respect life. No more senseless killing. No more. Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, Fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents will say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands! Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
The business was actually started by my father about 35 years ago. And, when he died in 2011, I officially took over the spot as head of the business, but I've been working with him in the business for over 10 years prior to his death. We have been established from 1980, and my father has always been involved in boating and boats, and His father was a marine pilot, so he's been around boats all his life and fishing all his life. So at that point in time, I guess he wanted to make a commercial activity out of it, and you know, people love seafood, so I guess it was a natural transition for him. My dad funded it out of pocket. He already had some boats, so started with his boats that he had, and then when he was able, he purchased, you know, really specific kind of commercial fishing boats, and then took it from there. B&D Trawling's mandate is to provide the highest quality seafood to the global marketplace. So the two main items that we export all over the world are conch and lobsters. They're all fished in the Jamaican waters, and we're also recently fishing deep water snappers as well. We cater to the seafood lovers and people who love quality seafood. There's a trend around the world for healthy food now, and the thing is that Jamaicans don't understand what they really have. So what we have is pristine, untouched waters. So there are people all over the world that come and are looking for fish and seafood that are grown naturally in a healthy environment. So we produce the quality Jamaican products and export it all over the world. So we export to China, we export to USA, Canada, Singapore, Thailand, all over. We've recently started the importation of some products that are not available locally here. So we have partnered with a major seafood distributor in the US, which we have been exporting to for over 30 years by the name of Beaver Street. Their brand is Seabest, and we have been packaging products under their brand for over 30 years. And it was just a naturally available here, such as salmon and shrimp and scallops. What makes us unique is that, you know, we sell our product to the first world. So Jamaicans on a whole love quality seafood. That's why they go to the beach and stand up and wait for the fisherman to come with his boat and come up, and they get it fresh there. So what we are doing and what makes us different is we really try to bring that to the customer without the hassle. So, you know, you don't have to go down to the beach to fight for your fish. You can come to our outlet, you can come and you can get the same quality that you get there, or even better, at an affordable price and in a great environment. So what makes us different, what makes us competitive? Mainly, again, the quality of our produce. So initially, the funding was put up by my father, but one of the great growers or facilitators of our business has been our partner, Exim Bank, and really they have helped us to really grow the company rapidly in the direction that we have wanted, with, you know, low-cost financing, US dollar loans and things like that. We are a profitable company, and we continue to grow our product range and product line, so we're on a very good profitable path. Where our business is located is very strategic. We're located on the port of Kingston, which is strategic and container terminal, which most of our goods go out on. So it's very strategic. It also helps us to increase the quality of our product, because usually there may be one other plant in Jamaica that is located on the waterfront. So what this does for us is increase the quality that we're able to produce. So it comes directly from the boat into the plant, instead of coming by boat, then travel by land and going everywhere. So that's how we keep our quality increased as well. We employ over 200 persons here, and they are mostly women from the inner city communities or surrounding communities. And we very much believe in community development and supporting our surrounding communities. So the first place we look is right in our neighboring communities where, you know, jobs are hard to find. And we look there and we have been very happy with the quality of workmanship which we have got so far. In the management level now, we look for the best people, because I believe, for me, no matter what it costs, to have the best people. And it goes all around. I'm not saying that the lower level people are not the best. Yes, we do have some of the best people in the fishing industry here that come from the inner city communities, yes, as well. But we look for, on the higher level, we look for education is very, very important. Experience is very, very important on the higher level. The majority of the workers are based in our processing plant. So they would have several divisions of the processing plant. So all throughout the process, so they would come in, you would have ladies filleting or cutting the product. Then you would have people washing the product. Then you would have people weighing the product. Then you would have people bagging the product all the way through to the end process, and until it's loaded into a container and shipped. Our culture is definitely family-oriented. Every employee that has been here, some of them from the beginning, we still have employees that have been here for 35 years with us. And it's just a family environment. We can have an open door policy. Anybody can come and talk, and any issue, it can be outside of business, anything. And we all come together and help each other when we need it. Typically, I work about 12 hours per day. So about 9 to 9 in office. And then, you know, plant workers work on a shift basis as well. So some persons may come in at 6 o'clock and leave earlier. Some may come in at 10 and leave later. So it's flexi hours, and sometimes during the lobster season, or most times, we have a night shift as well. Being an entrepreneur is very tough, especially a business owner, and time management is a very, very tough task. So the major challenge will be to balance, you know, work and life, and, you know, home life, and being a young family member, or I would say having a young family. It's very, very tough, and you have to kind of carve out time for your family and make sure that you make that time, because basically it's your business, you're so enthusiastic about it, you want it to succeed, and then so you put all your time and your effort and everything into it, and really try to keep it as vibrant as possible. And a lot of the times when you do that, you know, your personal life suffers. So the challenge now is being able to really create that balance.
Sundays at 4:30 p.m. It's all about Home Sweet Home. Get your half-hour dose of the business of real estate, from laws and concepts to reality, building, buying, or renting. Or what about trends in decor or renovations? Home Sweet Home will keep you up to date.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Every day you wake up, you have another opportunity to make this little island better, safer, a place where we all can be proud to call home. It's time we all recognize that every little thing we do has an impact on the Jamaica we live in now and the country we're leaving for our children. So promise me this, promise yourself this: no more will we tolerate criminals, even if it's our relatives. Tell them they're doing something wrong. Tell them to stop. Tell them no more robbing our children of the Jamaica they deserve. Tell them no more crime.
As CEO, you always really want to think about the big ideas. Where do you want to take the company? What is your vision? And what are your goals? So, I spend a lot of time sitting down and thinking about where we want to go and what we want to do. And out of that, then the ideas come. So you kind of focus on the consumer, focus on the market and see where it's shifting, see where it's going to be tomorrow, and kind of innovate before, so that when the market shifts, you'll be in that position to really take advantage of the market. The most important thing for us here, we're competing on a global market. We're competing in first world companies. We mainly ship to Europe, so these people know seafood, they know quality products, and you really have to have a quality product. That's number one. Number two, if you're talking about retail or service, the customer experience has to be good. So one of the things we focus on really in our pop-up kitchen that we do once a month is really focusing on an authentic experience. So when you come down, you can really feel a natural Jamaican environment and all local produce, and really get that natural feel that the customer will feel at home and want to come back. Being an entrepreneur and running your own business, there are going to be challenges every day. If you don't have challenges every day, then there's a problem. But it's just how you deal with those challenges. Being a primarily export company, our main challenges are red tape issues, or having a competitive environment here. Cheap electricity, cheap labor, all of those things, that's what we're competing against. And Jamaica doesn't necessarily have some of those items. So you really have to kind of be innovative and creative and try to, get in a niche where you can create that efficiency to be able to compete globally. My failures have been too many to mention, so I'm not going to really single out any failure, but I can say, I fail all the time, and anybody who doesn't fail or hasn't failed has never been or never will be successful. So failure is not the problem, is how you recover from failure, and that's one of the main success factors of an entrepreneur. So the successful people, they will learn from their failures, and what John C. Maxwell would say is fail forward. So you would fail and build up from it. Now, if you fail and you keep making the same mistakes over and over, then you're going to be in a problem. So it's just how you react to the failures and how you overcome them and keep going. You try to prevent as many mistakes as possible, but it's part of the failure. You can't prevent mistakes. Mistakes will happen, things will happen, markets will change, everything will change, and you just have to react, and you have to react quickly and in a positive way. So you can't really say that you're going to stop mistakes. Again, you don't want to repeat the mistakes. You make it one time and you put measures in place not to make those mistakes. But it's just a simple, continuous improvement process that you keep going on, and little by little you improve, and minimize the mistakes. Well, definitely growth strategies. We're looking at now diversifying our product range. So a big part of what we do is export, but we have never primarily been in the local market or distributed in the local market. So we have just started that now to actually distribute in the local market, and the actual response has been overwhelming. So, you know, what we do is basically to grow, we now expand into different areas and looking now at acquisitions and things like that to grow the company. Our most successful form of marketing thus far has been social media. It's really on the cutting edge right now. Jamaica, being lovers of phones, lovers of TV and computers and that kind of stuff, you know, social media is really taking it to the next level now. And really, if you want to stay on top of your game and grow your business here and overseas, the best tool right now, most effective tool is social media. Right now, for social media, one of the biggest tools that we use are video and actually, you know, cooking tutorials, things like that, you know, which get people engaged and get them trying your product and testing it and reviewing it and that kind of stuff. So definitely moving more towards video. For me, I'm willing to go to the ends of the earth to succeed, because for me, failure is not an option. I must succeed, I will succeed, and for me, as long as I keep that attitude, I will succeed. One of the best things you can do, or one of the main laws for success, is having a positive attitude. I really can't stress it enough. But there's a book, one of my favorite books, called The Law of Success, written by Napoleon Hill. And anybody who is really interested in being successful, they really need to read that book. And it lays out really all the different points of what becoming successful entails and how you get there. But one of the main things, of course, is knowing where you want to go, knowing what you want to do, and keeping it on the forefront of your mind, and just pushing every day to achieve that goal. I define success as, you know, balance. And, you know, when I mean balance, sometimes people value success as having money or having, you know, material things. I don't really view that as success. For me, success, I view it as being to help people. So I have a business so that people can be employed and generate, you know, income, that kind of stuff, and have a healthy lifestyle. So when I talk about successful, I talk about having good relationships with your family, having a balanced lifestyle, healthy lifestyle in terms of, you know, just the food you eat, everything, you know. So success for me is a balance of work, personal life, and charitable things. Of course, I have fears, you know. My greatest fear, I would say, you know, there's always a fear of going out of business or you know, that kind of fear. But, you know, I don't really fear it. The fear is always in the back of your mind, and that's why you always have to, you know, be on top of your game, really push hard to be, you know, successful in business and really stay on top of the things that make your business successful. So it's there in the back of my mind, pushing me like with a stick there to you know, keep doing my best, keep going the extra mile. But failure, or you know, it fuels me.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, delighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. JA.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
If you want to be successful, you really have to have what Mr. Hill would call a definite purpose. So what it really is where you want to go, what you want to do, where you want to, you know, where you want to be. That's what fuels me. You know, I have a goal. As CEO, you know, you set the large targets. And, you know, once you set that large targets, then you're going to have to set some smaller targets along the way. So what fuels me is really achieving those goals. So you set those goals and you achieve them. Basically, it really fuels you. So it gives you a boost when you achieve a goal and you know that you're on the right path and you know that you're getting somewhere. So that's what really fuels me. I have many inspirers, but you know, first and foremost, you know, I look to my dad and his legacy and really upholding his legacy and really what he brought to the table. So, you know, he inspires me and had always inspired me to do better than he did and carry it to the next level. And, you know, we've been trying and been really doing well at that. So, inspire. Yes, start with my father, and then, you know, there are many persons. You have Martin Luther King, you have Barack Obama, you have all these really positive people that, you know, you gain inspiration over time with, and, you know, you're trying to align yourself with their ideals and just push forward. Favorite aspect of being an entrepreneur is the kind of shifting landscape and the thrill of, you know, actually owning your own business and knowing that what you put in, you know, is directly related what you're going to get out of it. So you really spend a lot of time, you know, putting in a lot of energy, knowing that you're going to get the results. I attribute my success mainly to my team. Number one, you have to have a solid team. So you really have to have the best people on board, and you really have to be aligned and work well and mesh well together on a common goal and really move forward together. I don't have one event that I can single out to say that has been my most satisfying moment. You go back and you look at it and you set your overall large goal, and in between you have your small goals. And the most satisfying moments are when you achieve your milestones or your small goals along the way, and it really gratifies you. I mean, any entrepreneur, any business owner is going to have to make many sacrifices. You make sacrifices in time, you make sacrifices in money, you make all sorts of sacrifices. And believe me, I don't think there's a time when you stop sacrificing. But the challenge is really to create a balance. So, you know, now, you know, you really invest a lot of your time into your business, and you really have to try and spend some time with the family as well, and really know that business is not everything in life. even though, you know, you really want to push and remain successful. Non-work time, you know, I'm a seaman, so love to go out on the boats or go out on the water, that kind of stuff. I really enjoy doing that. What makes me happy? Being healthy, having a great family, you know, that really makes me happy. And achieving my goals. Well, future plans, definitely we want to, on a smaller scale, open up a 5-star seafood restaurant down here on the downtown Kingston waterfront. We're looking at building a new plant, which will cost us about 20 million US, state-of-the-art plant. So we're looking to expand, we're looking to do new things, but remain focused on export so we can really bring in that foreign exchange and stop the sliding dollar. So if you want to start your own business, my first piece of advice would be to get your education. Education is extremely important in an extremely competitive business environment. So number one, get a college education. Number two, you need to always go the extra mile. So if you want to start your business, you know, you really have to go over and above and go the extra mile in doing your business. Third, don't be afraid to fail. You're going to fail, and it's just how you react to those failures which will make the difference between your success and the other person. So you really need to push forward and just don't give up. Number one, just don't give up. Keep pushing.
Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips,